What's going on, guys? And thank you for clicking this video. This video will be about the upcoming pay-per-view this Saturday, Pereira versus Yuri 2. I got the best picks I think that you should put together for a parlay. This video will be for the FanDuel. The next video I'll probably make will be some prize picks that you can use. Because again, like I said, I'm in Texas. FanDuel isn't legal here, so I'm gonna probably primarily do prize picks moving forward. But this is gonna be a quick video. Let's get into it. All right, so the first fight that I have on this parlay, I got Andre Arlovski versus Martin Buday. These are two heavyweights. They're both coming off losses. I would actually give the striking edge though to Martin. Arlovski, I mean, he's pretty flat-footed, and Buday, I mean, his strike count gets pretty high, and I definitely see him getting the KO for sure. Martin, that is. There's not going to be any grappling in this fight. I think it's going to be primarily on the feet, so that's why I would give the striking edge to Martin. Arlovski has a chin though. He has been KO'd, but yeah, I think that this one goes to Martin. So yeah, pretty quick one on this one. All right, I'm excited for this one. The next one is Michelle Waterson Gomez, I think, versus Jillian Robertson. Now, Waterson, I think, is pretty overrated in my opinion. I think Dana White just has, I'm not going to say favorites, but he does have fighters that he like that come from, I believe she was on the Ultimate Fighter. I think he favors a lot of those fighters that come from those shows. But she's on a 4-fight losing streak. Her last win was against Angela Hill in 2020. She's a good grappler. Her striking, I think, has improved, even though most of her fights have been losses and decisions, but she's shown signs of, having a good striking. And she always has good cardio. So, I don't know, though. I think that she might be a little outmatched in this one. She's going against Jillian Robertson. She's won 4 of her last 6. Jillian had a very rough start, I think, to the UFC. I remember her, almost crying after one loss. I think it was to Macy Barber. I think that was Macy's debut or something like that. So she had a pretty rough going. She had losses to Tabitha Ricci, which isn't saying much. I don't think Tabitha is that good. And then she also lost to JJ Aldrich, who's obviously pretty good. But her wins, though, haven't been against big name fighters. So this would be the biggest name she's gotten. I think she's definitely up for the test. I think Waterson is on the decline. But like I said, her grappling and striking is still there. But I think her style of fighting is getting outdated, especially with this new wave of talent coming in the UFC. Yeah, and like I said, Jillian Robertson, her striking has vastly improved, as well as her grappling. So, yeah, I see Jillian getting the W in this fight. Oh, man, this next fight, I think, has the potential to be my favorite fight on the card. Up-and-coming talent. I don't like that they put these two fighters together. I'll tell you that. These are two up-and-coming fighters. Peyton Talbot has 2 fights in the UFC. The other guy, Shimori, has 1 fight. To me, I think the odds should be not as heavily favored to Peyton's way. I mean, I think Peyton should definitely be the favorite like he is. But this Shimori guy is plus 900, and I'll get into it. Like I said, Talbot has 2 fights in the UFC. He's an all-around fighter, man. Wherever the fight goes, he exceeds in it. I think that he probably would prefer to stand up, but he's a good grappler too. He's 8-0. He's a good all-around fighter, and he beat Cameron Saban his last fight by TKO viciously. And I think overall he has 6 KOs in his career. I think this kid is the future of the bantamweight division, in my opinion. And he's going to be a tough out for anybody. This other guy, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, so I'm just going to say the other guy. He only has 1 fight in the UFC, and that was a TKO as well. But he's also a pretty good all-around fighter. He has 4 subs, 5 first-round finishes, 3 KOs. like I said, the odds should be much quicker. Maybe it's because of the talent. I know he's from France. I'm not saying anything about the French MMA, but maybe that's why. But I mean, I just think the odds should be a lot closer. But I'm still taking Payton in this fight. But this has the potential to be. I know it's only on a prelim, so it might not get fight of the night, but it has potential to be fight of the night. Definitely performance of the night to one of these guys. I just hate that these are two bright up and coming bantamweight fighters and they're making them fight so early, man. That sucks, in my opinion. It sucks that one of them has to lose. I would love to see these two like years down the line fighting each other, But yeah, I got Payton in this one though. So the next fight we got Joe Pyfer versus Marc-Andre Barriault. This has potential to be a pretty good fight as well. I think it's going to be a standing affair, which I personally think favors Joe. But let's get into it. Joe Pyfer, his last loss, his last fight, he lost and got outsmarted by Jack Hermanson. I think over 3 rounds. He was coming off his hype train, saying that he's the future of the division. He had Brendan Allen saying the same thing, like they're here to cause ruckus and this and that, and then just got outwitted, outsmarted by Jack. But other than that, I mean, the kid can strike, and he's a decent grappler too. Obviously, he has 3 subs, 8 KOs, mostly first round finishes. Relatively young fighter. I do think he is the future of the middleweight division, for sure. He's a future title challenger, but he just needs to fight better competition, and I think that this will definitely be a step in that direction. I mean, he had better competition against Jack. See what happened. So now we're taking quite a bit down, but still better competition than who he's fought before. And that's Marc-Andre Barriault. And here's what I'm saying. It's better comp, but I'm not really impressed with Mark's, career, really. I mean, he's been kind of up and down. He wins some fights, lose some fights badly. Look good in some fights, look very bad in some fights. He's primarily a striker, which I think favors Joe Pyfer. So I think this has all the makings to be a showcase for Joe. Like I said, it is better competition than who he's fought, but quite a bit step down from Jack. But he should still be able to show out. I think Joe gets it done in a striking affair. Okay, and the next fight we got Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page. Now I'm kind of torn about this, which I think most of the people in the MMA community is pretty torn about this fight. Because it has the potential to be this great, flashy fight for both of them. I don't see it going that way. I don't. And let's get into it. Ian Gary is a elite striker. Even though I might have my personal feelings about him, I think he's annoying as hell. But you cannot shake the talent. I mean, this guy is an elite striker. His takedown defense is good, and the accuracy on his punches is top tier in the welterweight division. I would say after Leon Edwards. He's a marksman. But I just don't think he's fought anyone that has tested him really on the feet. We thought we was gonna get that from Geoff Neal. That didn't happen. He just kind of pieced him apart on the feet, and I think his height definitely plays a role in it. I mean, he's 6'3". He's fought. I mean, Neil Magny. He's pretty tall too, but again, Neil Magny can't fucking strike. Yan Jian, he's not a striker. I think that's who he fought, the Asian guy. He's not a striker like that. I mean, he is, but he's not on Ian Gary's level. Like I said, we thought we was going to get a closer fight with Geoff Neal, but he got pieced apart. And I think it's Ian Gary's size that is his biggest advantage, and he takes full advantage of that with staying at range and just, hitting people in places where they can't hit back. Now, Michael Venom Page, he's also an elite striker. Yeah, he might be coming from another organization, but even if he had came, you know, in his 20s, like he should have, I think he'd still be an elite striker in the UFC. He's one of those rare fighters that come from other promotions that can replicate what they've been doing their whole career. And to me, sure he has 2 losses, but I don't think anyone's been able to figure him out. And I think that plays to his advantage as well. He's an exciting fighter if fighters decide to play along. I don't think Ian Gary's going to play along with his antics and things like that, which might actually play into his demise. I think that Ian Gary should strike back and forth with him. He's good. He's accurate. He's fast. Michael Venom Page is fast, but I think I would give the speed advantage to Ian Gary. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I give the speed advantage to Ian Gary and the accuracy. It's just the timing. Once Ian Gary figures out the timing of Michael Venom Page, I think he could piece him up. The thing is, though, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Michael Venom Page is going to continue to play his game, and Ian Gary isn't going to fall for any of his tricks or any of his in and out movements, but that's going to leave him flat-footed, and I think ultimately probably get him frustrated, just like Kevin Holland, because UFC fighters are not used to this type of style. You know, who else in the UFC fights like Michael Venom Page? So I give the edge to Michael Venom Page in a drawn-out, probably boring fight, in my opinion. All right, and the last fight on this parlay slip is probably going to be my second favorite fight on this card outside the main event. Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega. Man, I am a big Diego Lopez fan. You know, and I'll probably make another video based off my favorite fighters in the UFC. But Diego Lopez is on that list. And it's a short list. Diego Lopez is on that list of my favorite fighters. How can you not like this kid? He's going against Brian Ortega. Also a really, I think they're actually very similar style fighters. You know, I think that Diego Lopez has more punching power, but I can't wait to see these, you know, jiu-jitsu exchanges, man. But I think if it stays on the feet, I think Diego Lopez wins. But I don't give either one of them really an edge on the grappling. You know, I don't give either one of them an edge. It's very close. You want to say Brian Ortega because he has the track record of, you know, I mean, damn, his name is T-City, Triangle City. So he has a track record of, you know, being great on the ground. It's the striking exchanges that, you know, I think anyone that gets pieced up by Alexander Volkanovski, I mean, and there's no knock on Volk. His Volk is an all-around fighter, but his striking isn't that good. But he outstruck Brian Ortega. But I think that mostly has to do with his heart. Not trying to question Brian's heart, but you know, his stand-up has a lot to be desired, in my opinion. And I think that Diego Lopez has shown, just like Peyton Talbot and the other guy he's fighting, man, like he's just the future of the division, and he's an all-around fighter. He's the new wave of fighters, young, fresh fighters. I see Diego Lopez getting it done. You know, I think it's gonna be pretty even on the ground. So I can't really tell who would win those exchanges. You want to lean towards Brian, but I'm going Diego Lopez on this one, man. I'm going Diego Lopez. All right, guys. So there you have it. Here's the parlay slip for you. We got Joe Pyfer, we got Jillian Robinson, we got Martin Buday, we got Diego Lopez, Peyton Talbot, and Michael Venom Page. I think this is a pretty solid group. The only one I might worry about is probably Michael Venom Page. The off chance that Ian Gary does figure him out. And also, you know, Diego Lopez, I think. But other than that, I think the other ones are a lock. I mean, you look at the odds. You got Peyton Talbot 1100, Martin Boudet 310, Jalen Robinson 205, Joe Pyfer 250. I'm sure by the time I upload this, these will probably switch. But yeah, these are my picks. UFC 303 goes down this Saturday. I'll post my results. I'll try to post another video before then for my prize picks, because I know right now they have like a special. That's why I like prize picks. You know, they have like these crazy specials you can do, and but you can only specify fight time, you know, takedown, significant strikes, and fantasy points. Those are only categories you can vote that you can bet on. You can't do an outright money line. So I will post my picks for prize picks, and I also use the Better app as well. So be on the lookout for those videos. Hopefully today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for those videos as well. I'll probably put them in the same video. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Peace.